Alright, cool. Let's do this. Welcome, everybody, to the basics of fleet commanding. I am your host and mentor today on this wonderful journey of bullshittery, Kangamarian, and I am going to teach you everything that I know about how to take command and everything you need to know for the basics of fleet command. So, this is what we will be going over. Just for reference. Now, to anybody who has even pointed the eye or heard what the fuck I just said, what is a fleet commander? What is the purpose of a fleet commander?
For you to be the leader of your squad.
In some regard, yes, but in other regards, a fleet commander or FC, whose purpose is to complete a mission that has been put in place for them. For example, Glitch IGO require you to bring your account over to K1I1 TAC-J for reactions. How are you going to get those accounts over? That is a task.
Jump clone.
So these tasks or missions could range from anywhere from just a simple mining fleet that's pinged out to a tactical fight that would evidently happen with super capitals on player versus player grounds. As an FC, you are responsible for four things: pre-pinging a fleet or an event to register that something will be happening so everybody knows what's going on, a disciplined fleet so that command is very known and that everything is essentially ready for the task ahead. All doctrine should be covered. SRP should be said if it's going to be happening, yes or no. And head count should be taken before heading out so that you know what your force is and what you're up against.
Yes, sir.
Now, the reason we pre-ping is to more or less make sure that, one, everybody knows what the fuck's going on. Because if you don't pre-ping or if you just ping as part of skirmish, like, hey, this shit's about to happen right now, everybody's going to be in a little bit of a fray. So if you organize it a bit, which evidently is going to see as an FC, or just in fleet command in general, is that, hey, more people are tending to show up to these types of things because it's organized, it's ready, and, the commander is confident, so it's probably going to be a victory. Which is another thing for the second part of this. Being disciplined. That is going to be your death or livelihood in any fight. If you do not have comms that are battle ready, that aren't silent, or overall just a fucking mess, what's going to happen is you're going to make a mistake because of a little spur that was put out, and you're going to get in a lot of fucking trouble, or you're going to fuck up a whole lot on the fleet. For example, when we were fighting Keepstar, I really had no comms other than push to talk in. That evidently got me screwed over because we were in maulers, and a whole bunch of us were getting tackled by these maledictions and small shit, so we couldn't hit anything. Doctrine of all ships are useful to the fleet. I will get into depth with that here in a bit, and obviously head count is head count, so just make sure you know how many people you have and what you're bringing, right? Now, we might be also asking, what is a doctrine? As I explained before, a doctrine is a specific fit towards a few types of ships for a specific operation. For example, longbow cormorants. They are used for long-range PvP or mid-range PvP, whichever you want to put it as, via destroyers who have 150 millimeter railguns and can shoot out to God knows how far. As they are cheap, powerful, and really just simple to use. You want something dead from long range, you point at it and say, kill that thing. And the reason we create these doctrines is to make a successful operation happen. When we are successful, a lot of good things come from it. All right, such as that dank ass loot, more confidence, and good morale. All right, these are all things to keep in mind as you move with your fleet, because either more people are going to join you, or your fleet's going to end up shrinking later on. Anybody got any questions so far?
I got one.
All right, let's hear it.
As I understand that I have to make a doctrine, right? Like a list of fit that's suitable for my strategy. But my question is there when I create a fleet, that is, there is a requirement for my doctrine, or anyone can join without fitting the doctrine?
So that's up to you. If you want to make sure that whoever joins decides, like, hey, we want it strictly to be that doctrine, make sure to put that in the MOTD. Or more or less just say on comms, hey guys, we're going to be strictly using this. Again, in the end, the fleet is up to you of how you put it together. If you want E-War, you can have E-War. If you don't want E-War, you don't have to have E-War.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it.
Which is in the end important. But you also know what's important? OPSEC. What is OPSEC? Operational security, otherwise known as OPSEC, is to maintain security and risk management that prevents sensitive information at the time from getting out into the wrong hands. Now, why would we want OPSEC in today's general vicinity?
We don't want to be countered.
Yes, that would be horrible. Nor or less we would not like to get hot dropped, right? Obviously, if you're streaming a fleet, that's a different type of fucking thing. You're openly making yourself known as a target. But if you would like a operation quiet as hell, no one interrupting you, then OPSEC, baby. It's important as shit. Make sure you get that shit down. And like, if it's just a small roam fleet, it's whatever, right? You're just roaming around having fun. But where OPSEC would be needed is if it's strategic, like a structured defense or a mining operation, which has R64 moons. Because you're gaining a lot of money, but if you say anything outside of the land, then somebody's going to come looking for your ships and they're going to blow you the fuck up. Now, we wouldn't want that, now would we?
Nope.
That'd be a lot of money loss. I'm just saying. Now, before you all do this, you gotta understand how to create a fleet. I think we already know how to do this, but I'll go over it anyway. To create a fleet, you go to your fleet window, which should be 3 chevrons pointing upward. Click on Form Fleet, and you now have a fleet. How you run this fleet is up to you. To invite others, right-click on their user in a chat room and invite to fleet to make sure said user is in a position to invite other people or to lead as a squad or wing command. You can either drag them up when they are in the fleet or inviting them to the fleet, hovering over them to the side where an arrow will appear, and then you can put them in a squad or wing command position. And just like that, bada bing, bada boom, you now have a chain of command. You can also add your MOTD, which is important for any information, bits, or anything that you want to put, by simply clicking the 3 dots on the right-hand side of the chat box and going to channel. And what this is going to allow you to do is type in what you would like to add, or what you need to remove, or any update to the current fleet that you would like. Right? Now, before you even make the fleet, or just after you make the fleet, how do you ping? How do you get your people in one place? It's very simple. You go onto the Discord, you go to either fleet pings or public events, whichever one you want to do. Fleet pings are usually for strategic membership fleets. Public events are for, as you guess it, public fucking events where you can go with randoms and have fun. And you make a ping with the following: where are you forming up? Who's the FC? When is it happening? Why are you forming? What are you forming in? What will your comms be? Never make an unorganized ping, because people will get confused very quick, especially new bros. They're the worst at it. Alright? And people will only be bothered if you do that. If a structure is being bashed, take your time, make the ping carefully. We don't want anyone getting screwed up or sacrificing something they don't want to. That'd be bad. Time is of the essence, but making sure your people do not die is also your priority as an FC. This way, you'll have numbers on your side when a fight begins, and in the end, you'll have strategic victory. Now, when you're on a fleet, here are some things that I would note. Just as a fleet commander myself, make sure your callouts are loud and clear. Make sure people can obviously fucking hear you. If they cannot hear you, then what's going to happen is they're going to be like, what'd you say? And they're going to mumble this shit and they're not going to know what's going to happen. Right? So when I say keep at range 1,000 King of Marian, that's telling everyone, hey, make sure you are anchored up on this person. Right? When you cannot hear yourself, but the fleet is too loud or some other bullshit's happening, to get your fleet quiet, simply say clear comms or shut up idiots, we have stuff to do. As a fleet commander, you should have initiative. Think of what can be and not what is. You can beat unbeatable odds. For example, you have rapid light caracals, and you're facing a whole bunch of Ishtars and Simis. What do you think you're going to do? You're going to have to fight them, right? Well, guess what? Make sure you're fighting them at the appropriate range. Because if you're keeping range on the enemy, you got a lot you can do. And if you're fighting a whole bunch of shit that's trying to bash you, well, all you got to do is pop the thing that you want dead, and bada bing, bada boom, it's gone. Alright? With that being said, having uniqueness as a commander is a vital sign of thriving fleets. Each commander is different in the way that they proceed to leading a fleet. However you want to lead a fleet, whichever way you want to improvise into your fleets, whether you being a wild card, being a smartass, whatever the fuck it is, make it look good. Because that way you'll have more fucking people coming in. And finally, overall, just make sure to have discipline. Again, I cannot stress this enough. If you cannot control your fleet, you cannot succeed in battle. It should be understood that, if you don't have comms, or if you really don't have a fleet in general, how are you going to defend? How are you going to do all this stuff? You won't. You'll just be sitting there alone. So, make sure to remember, hey, this is a mission. There is some serious to it. It may be the funniest fucking fleet ever, but you have a goal. Yeah. Now, I'm going to throw some caution to the wind here. Cheeseburgers or hamburgers?
Cheese.
Why cheese?
Cheese, good.
I like
Same here.
My boy didn't even think twice. He was like, cheese good.
I'm actually vegetarian, though.
Well, the point I'm trying to get at is I made you think for a little second, alright?
Heck yeah, you did.
For every second that you think and not do, there is a second lost in a fight, which means a ship could warp off, which means that the enemy could gain something on you, which means that you could be distracted by something small to the then big target. Alright? Your voice could crackle and then you forget what the fuck you need to say. Which is why we sit here today at this discussion at this point, right? You as a fleet commander have to be prepared for anything, all right? And that could be a flashbang on Discord. Gotcha, ass. Overall, if you play your part right, you don't have any issues. You're chill. And these are overall just guidelines of how to do it. In the end, if you want to run your fleet a different way, we're not opposed to it. Because as a fleet commander, you just go out, have fun. Like, sometimes you multi-box, sometimes you just throw caution to the wind and say, fuck it, I'm throwing a Phantasm on the field. Right? You do shit as an FC that you make yourself question every day. Was it good? Was it bad? In the end, it's a fleet. We're here to have fun. That's what is going through everybody's mind. Because as important as it is, this is just a fucking video game. So, obviously, take it with some seriousness. But on the other hand, just goof around, fuck around, be aggressive. In the wise words of Lord of Reclamation, fuck 'em, we ball. Anybody have any questions that they can think of? I am here for all and every.
I do have one question.
I have a possible answer.
Are we gonna work on a doctrine soon?
We're always working on doctrines. We are always working on the doctrines. We have so many in store, it's not even funny. If you're referring to the upcoming fight, I gotcha.
Yeah, also, a lot of my court mates, they do ask for, like, Alliance Doctrine as a channel. They, like, every time you say bring shield, they always, like, they want the Doctrine, But I just tell them we're gonna work on it.
Alright, we could definitely do that. I haven't heard this concern until today. Thank you for putting it on my table. I'll make sure to go ahead and get that organized. Any other questions relating to this PowerPoint, though? Nothing as an FC. Well, I mean, obviously, what questions do you have as an FC for the basics of this?
I think no. I love aggression. That's all. So I will work on a list of doctrine maybe or some fish, and I will ask you guys to maybe review it a little bit because I'm new to this, right? So I just need your help on building a team, small team to medium size to large size of fleet. That's all.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
We'll be working with small and medium-sized fleets for the moment until we get to the bigger operations such as capitals. Once that
Yep, I agree.
happens, then and there will we be able to do more stuff. But without further ado, here are your references. Thank you again for listening in, and have a good day.